What if a mother's love turned into something horrifying? How could a woman, respected in her community, become one of history's most notorious killers? Today we dive into the chilling story of Leonarda Cianciulli, the soap maker of Correggio, who murdered 3 women and turned them into soap and tea. Stay till the end to discover the shocking details of her crimes. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss these dark tales from history. Leonarda Cianciulli's crimes are infamous not only for their brutality but also for the macabre ingenuity behind them. Born in early 20th century Italy, she transformed from a struggling mother into a killer whose murders shocked the entire nation. Her story is one of superstition, desperation, and psychological disturbance, making it one of the most horrifying yet fascinating true crime stories. Over the next 4 parts, we will explore her life from her childhood, her family struggles, her descent into murder, the grisly details of her crimes, the investigation, trial, and her legacy. Early life. Leonarda Cianciulli was born on April 18, 1894, in Montella, a small town in southern Italy. She was the second of 7 children in a deeply religious poor family. From a young age, Leonarda faced the harsh realities of life. Her family struggled to make ends meet, and her father's strict and sometimes violent behavior left a lasting impact on her psyche. Despite her hardships, Leonarda was intelligent and resourceful. However, she was also deeply superstitious, a trait that would later influence her twisted worldview. In a small, rural Italian town, superstition and folklore often guided daily life, and Leonarda absorbed these beliefs like a sponge. She often consulted fortune tellers and practiced folk remedies, developing a belief that fate could be manipulated through ritual and human action. Marriage and family. In 1917, Leonarda married Giuseppe Cianciulli, a man who worked as a tailor. They had 7 children together, but tragically only 4 survived infancy. The repeated deaths of her children deeply affected Leonarda, leaving her with a sense of guilt and fear. She became obsessed with protecting her remaining children and believed that dark forces were conspiring against them. Leonarda's fear of losing her children turned into an extreme form of superstition. She became convinced that human sacrifice could avert further tragedies in her family. This belief would ultimately guide her into a series of horrific murders. Personality and reputation. Despite her dark beliefs, Leonarda was known in her community as a devout, helpful woman. She attended church regularly and offered support to neighbors in need. People described her as kind, generous, and pious. This public persona helped her maintain the trust of the community and conceal her sinister activities. However, beneath this facade, Leonarda was plagued by paranoia and obsessive thoughts. She spent hours thinking about omens, prophecies, and the supernatural. Every minor event seemed to her a sign that her family's lives were at risk. The turning point in Leonarda's life came after a devastating series of events. The combination of losing children, financial difficulties, and her obsessive belief in superstition created a psychological environment where rational judgment was overridden by fear and desperation. By the 1930s, Leonarda had developed the belief that human blood and flesh could protect her family from misfortune. She saw murder not as a crime but as a ritualistic necessity, a way to appease the fates and safeguard her children. It is important to understand that Leonarda was not motivated by money or revenge. Her motives were deeply rooted in superstition and maternal obsession, making her actions all the more terrifying because they came from a distorted sense of love and duty.